Hey fam, it's time for me to get into a little Black Monday. This is season 1, episode 4, if you've been keeping up with me. So let's get right into it. So this episode starts at 295 days till Black Monday, which, if you don't know yet, go back and look at the other reviews so you understand what that means. Okay, so this episode starts off with... make sure my volume's up. Hold on. Okay, sorry. Got to make sure that volume's up. Okay, so this episode begins with Blair. From the last episode, at the very end, Blair broke up with his fiance. Okay, and she's the Georgina, the daughter of the people who have the company Georgina there, and is out with Mo and Dawn at the club, and they're coking it up, basically. Okay, so Blair is out at the club with them, and Blair ends up having to be shocked. You know, when the ambulance comes and they do the recession on you, they shock you back to life because basically his heart has stopped. He was out partying so hard, his heart stopped. He died for a second, okay? That's how hard they're going at it here. All right, and after he comes to, Mo and Dawn want to call Tiffany for him. They're like, let us call her for you, Lila. And Blair's like, fuck that bitch. That's literally how this episode gets started. This show is so crazy, I'm telling you. Okay, so John is trying to, excuse me, I'm still not over this cold, shoot. Trying to think of ways to get Blair to go back to Tiff. Because remember, they need Tiff to be Mo's fiance and then ultimately his wife. To get this Georgina stocks taken care of the way that they need to get that money in their pockets, okay? Let me see. Mo focuses on a charity that he MCs, at least last year he did. And he claims they need to convince Blair that Tiff is dating a new, hotter and younger guy. So he gets jealous and comes running back. Apparently this idea worked on a sitcom, okay? And Don ain't feeling it because everything works on a sitcom. That's what sitcoms do. It starts ugly and then it turns out all perfectly taken care of at the end. Hello, we know the sitcoms and what goes on there. Okay, Don thinks they should just talk to Blair about the power of love, okay? That's not a bad idea. He was with that woman for years. He's starting with her from the bottom. You know, ultimately he's going to succeed in whatever, in the stock market arena that he's throwing his hat in. He's going to get there, and being with that person from the beginning to the end, that could be quite sweet, okay? So she's just being realistic about it. Okay, while they're sitting in the office room there, Dawn and Mo calls in Keith and asks him to take a bag of money to the Yakuza. Remember, in episode 1, when he was trying to buy the excuse me, when he was trying to buy the Georgina stocks, he had to go borrow money, and one of the crews, I guess, that he borrowed money from was the Yakuza. Now, Keith basically states that he has something to do and he would like to deliver that money tomorrow. And Mo explains basically that the Yakuza would, what did he say? Teppanyaki his dick if it was put off till tomorrow. They're not playing with him about their money. They want it right now. He has a payment that's due. It's time to pay. Okay, so Keith ends up agreeing to make the payment for him. Okay, Mo and Don have Blair over Mo's for dinner. And while they're there, Don questions how he's feeling about being apart from the love of his life. He thinks it's great, okay, since she went back to live with her parents. And he's happy because he's been able to order ethnic food. When a couple breaks up, yeah, of course you have that initial time where things are all great and wonderful. And yeah, they're not here. I get to do this. I get to do that. You're like a kid with new freedom. That's, you know, what it is there. And Don is trying to tell him, you know, you can lean on love. Okay. Mo ends up spouting the importance of not settling, okay? Don't settle for someone who's not good for you, Mo's saying. Don goes in on the importance of having your soulmate. All right. Mo proceeds pictures of Tiff with her new guy. So he's showing him pictures. He produces pictures of Tiff with her new guy. Blair is not happy, okay? Like, he's freaked out at this point. He thought he was all happy because he had this all new freedom, but now that he knows that she's with somebody, he got a problem with it. Wonder where that came from. All right. He leaves. Don is upset at this point and says she's leaving because Mo completely went away from the original idea of her, you know, being with that love of your life there. So Mo offers to box up the food for her to take home to her husband. She says she doesn't mind her man with hips. Mo was implying by saying, let me box this food up and take it with you to your big ass man because he's living large, honey. Okay. Don says he's plump, weighing from different. Wow. He's large. Okay. Mo says her man has definitely got him. Okay. So she says, I don't mind my man having hips. And Mo's like, oh, he's definitely got him. They just be shit talking each other on this show. They kill me. Okay. Blair goes to Tiff with flowers only to find. Okay, so Blair goes to the home to find Tiff. He has flowers. He's trying to make up. After he saw this picture, his little asshole's on fire, and he's trying to go get his girl back, okay? And he walks in to find clothes thrown to the floor, and they show Dawn split to her house where she's going home also to find her husband has undressed all the way to their room as well, okay? Only to get in bed and to stuff himself with food. She thought they was about to get busy, and this fool's talking about, I'm so full I can't move. He's like, but you could do things to me. Oh, just a hot ass mess. Okay. That's funny. Mo, okay. After going to the bar, so after Blair and Don have left, Mo went to the bar, and then he comes home to find his robot is took completely apart. Like, somebody went in his house and like patiently took apart his little computer, his little robot dude that he talks to all the time and possibly has sexual relations with. You really have to see the episode to understand where I'm coming from with that. But they took him all the way apart, and then he goes into his room and looks, and it looks like there's an object under the blanket. He pulls back the blanket, and they got the robot's head on the pillow. The Yakuza has shown up to his apartment and broke up his computer because that payment was never received, okay? So back to Blair, who's trying to surprise Tiff with the flowers. He finds her reading lines for a play that she's in. He hears her around the corner in the room with a guy, and at first he's freaking out, but then he realizes they're reading lines for a play. And he's like momentarily like, yes, okay, cool. And then basically they start doing it. They're removing clothes, they getting it in, and Blair is standing there dumbfounded and heartbroken and fucked up, okay? So he just leaves, head down, heartbroken, walks out, okay? The Yakuza killed Kyle. Kyle is Mo's robot. That's the one I was talking about. They killed him. And he is looking for Keith, okay? They never got their money, as I said. Blair is at work, lifeless and broken. Don has to bring Mo's attention to Blair sitting out there at his computer, who is completely lifeless. Like, she ripped his heart out of his ass. Oh, I don't know what else to say there, okay? Keith goes, the guy he had to take, okay, so Keith passed the buck, okay? He gave the money to his friend and told him to make the payment, okay? And then that friend gave the money to another friend and had him make the payment, okay? They're all full of shit here. Just ridiculous. Come to find out, the guy who originally at the end was supposed to take the money to the Yakuza, he bet it and lost the dog. He lost the money. Mo's dead. Mo's gonna die, okay? Don advises Blair to win. We're back at the situation at the office because Mo and Don are talking about how to fix Blair because he's obviously broken, and she's advising him to win Tiff back by taking her out for a romantic dinner. Mo wants him to honeypot. He wants him to honeypot like on Hogan's Heroes. Okay, I don't even know what the hell that means. I didn't watch Hogan's Heroes. If you know what it means, leave it in the comments and let me know what that is, okay? He explains that's how he got Dawn back in the day when they were together, with an Oreo model to make her jealous. So there was a model that he used basically to make Dawn jealous and to get her back. Okay, Dawn disagrees but agrees to be the honey. So basically, that pageant that Mo is supposed to MC for, they're going to go to it, and Dawn's going to go as Blair's new woman. Okay, his new boo. I guess I'm feeling this idea. So Mo says he will have Tiff's new man bring her by. And Blair's like, how you know him? Okay, and Mo's like, do you always ask this many questions? And Blair's like, yeah. Okay, so they go immediately from this little conversation to the actual event where Mo is hosting, emceeing there. And Keith is trying to figure out how to get this money back. So he's going to the first dude, he's following that line to get to the money. Okay, so Mo's emceeing at the Manhattan pageant on the stock market floor. That's where this event is taking place at. Blair and Dawn are there all dressed up. They look really good too, by the way. Blair's actually kind of cute. And Dawn, let me just say, that's my big hair girl, okay? So she's there, of course, the whole ensemble. Like I said, it's in the 80s, but her big hair, her makeup, her lipstick, they nailed the 80s to the wall, okay? They got it perfect, and she looks damn good, okay? Tiff shows up with her new man. Tiff is totally jealous when she takes a look over and sees Dawn with her ex-boo, okay? Her dude, the dude that Tiff is with, he goes up because he's part of the auction, and his body is chiseled to perfection. He's hot, okay? So, he goes up there, and as soon as the bidding starts, Tiff calls out $15,000, shutting him down for the rest of everyone else, okay? She's taking that prize home. Okay, Dawn and Blair realize at this point that their honeypot didn't work, but really had fun. You know, even though they're realizing, oh, this was a flop, they're like, this was actually a really good time. Low-key, there's a little chemistry between Dawn and Blair here, and I'm feeling it. I like it. Okay, it's cute. Blair is so cute and charming, and I totally understand why Dawn is kind of digging him. And then Tiff rolls up on them with her new man. You know, she makes it go out of her way to get over to them. Tiff says she wants to be friends. She's actually really pleasant. And after stating, she says, once introduced to Dawn, she's like, oh, I heard about you. And she's like, your husband is a lucky man. And Dawn's like, wherever he is, you know, she's playing it off. And then Tiff is like, you look beautiful. That bow makes you look skinny. And Dawn's like, thanks. You should get one. Okay? I'm loving Dawn's shade here. Just get her, girl. Okay? When she walks off, Blair freaks and kisses Dawn. I mean, he grabbed her and very pleasantly, but with a whole lot of energy, kissed the hell out of her. I mean, stuck his tongue in her mouth and just kissed the hell out of her. Tiff sees this and screams, Blair! Okay? Tiff is like, you did this to make me jealous, huh? And Blair's like, yeah. She is so turned on because she thinks, she's like, Dawn is hot. She is totally caught in this moment with the attraction of how hot Dawn is and how hot Dawn looks with her man, okay? At this point, Dawn feels bad. Tiff recognizes her. She turns around, you know, she's right there on the floor with Blair, got her man back, and she recognizes her emerald earring on a maid that's there who's cleaning, who promptly returns it. She's like, Blair, why didn't you tell me that you lost this? These are all that's left of my great-grandfather's mine shaft, okay? So this emerald earring that I described from episode 1 is really important to Tiff because that's where it came from, okay? Dawn apologizes to Mo for bringing up their dating past because this was an argument going on between them during the show. Mo is like, what if Dawn reminds him she is married. Wow, did I really write that? Mo says, I know you ain't happy. Okay, yeah. So Mo is basically trying to say, what about us back in the day that really could have worked? And Dawn is like, yeah, I know, but I'm married now. And Mo's like, I know, but you're not happy. He can see what's going on here. First, Dawn has her little emotions for him. Then, obviously, she has some emotions for Blair, as she displayed with that passionate kid that, yes, Mo saw. And he's like, I know you ain't happy. He's telling her, I want you to meet me at 10. He gives her the name of a location, a bar that he wants her to meet her at. And she's like, no. And Mo leaves there saying, we'll see, okay? So, Tiff realizes the ring that she's now found is bad luck, okay? With everything that's happened since she first gave that ring to Blair on his first day to work, there's a lot of bad stuff that's been happening, and she's like, this is bad luck. And Mo walks up, and lo and behold, she gives it to him. She doesn't really like Mo. She knows who he is, what he is. She's not stupid, okay? So then now we're back to Keith, who, along with the first dude he gave his money to, is rolling up at the second guy, to the second guy at the airport. This fool is so deep into it, he's about to leave the country right now. He's been on the phone for the last 20 minutes calling all his family members and giving fuck yous, telling them I'm leaving, I'm done, I'm out. Because, hell, he can't be there anymore because of the money situation. And I may as well tell you how I feel on my way out, okay? So, so they get there, and right as old boy is literally about to give his plane ticket so he can get on this plane, Keith grabs him and snatches him and takes him over, and he's about to start going off, but they notice on the TV that the news is on, and it reports that mad cow disease has set in, basically, which would kick back their funds. Apparently, when old boy bet on these, it was some type of stock with meat, basically, and this loss is actually coming as a benefit to them, giving them all of their money back. It's such a hairy situation with this whole stock market thing, and they got the better end of the deal this time, okay? So Mo leaves the pageant where he was originally at, telling Dawn she needs to meet him, but only when he gets off the elevator. He's surrounded by the Yakuza, and he takes off running. He ain't stupid. He knows they're trying to kill him. Okay. So then they shoot over to Dawn, who has actually decided to meet Mo where she's asked him to meet him at, and at 10. And then they're shooting back over to Mo with the Yakuza, and they have him sitting in a chair, and their head guy is there, and they bring open this box, and the box has a knife in it, and basically they're telling him we need a finger. And Mo's like, well, oh my God, are you serious? And then he lays the box down in front of Mo, like, go ahead and handle that. And Mo's like, I gotta do it? Oh, shit. So Mo, he got the knife out, and he's taking his little pinky ring finger off, or pinky ring off his finger, and he's just about to cut that sucker off when, lo and behold, here comes Keith to save the day. He shows up barely in time, saving that little finger, and basically tells them they got the money, and Mo is relieved, although he's pissed, and he realizes what time it is, and he hauls ass to that bar to meet Dawn because he's sure that she's there. And so Dawn is there, and she's all depressed because 10 is basically come and gone, and she's drinking, and she's talking to the bartender, just tripping off stuff. And, oh, I got to say this real quick because you know how I hate Mo's little boxcar sports car. That's a piece of shit. He's jumping in to drive over to Dawn to meet her. Damn, that car's a piece of crap. Okay, so Blair and Tiff actually end up showing up at this bar because earlier when Dawn was trying to tell Blair how to get her back, she had suggested this place, okay? So they show up there, and immediately Tiff has to go to the bathroom, and Blair sees Dawn sitting there, and he's like, what's up? And she's like, oh, you did come here. And he's like, yeah, I took your advice. And then it's like Blair just he can't hold back. He grabs Dawn, and he kisses her. Like, this is a full-on, all-out, passionate, really good kiss. And right at the door at that moment is Mo standing there watching this, like, heartbroken, can't believe this is happening, okay? So, Blair kisses Dawn down, and then basically, when he's done kissing her, Tiff comes out of the bathroom, and it's like Blair sort of comes back to himself, grabs Tiff and leaves, and that's the end of the show, folks. So now we have a little love triangle going on. Hell, that's a square, because Dawn's married to her husband, feelings for Mo, chemistry with Blair. It's hot, y'all. Can't wait to see you next episode. If you like my videos, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I have new videos. Thanks for watching.